Congressional talks on border security have broken down. Talks to avert a second government shutdown over border security funding broke down late on Saturday, and Republicans and Democrats are not communicating for now, according to two people familiar with the talks, imperiling the prospects for a deal. The sticking point is over the number and purpose of immigration detention beds, both people said, an issue that would typically be regarded as a side note to the broader talks on the amount of funding for border security. President Donald Trump's talks could still get back on track, but the prospect of getting a deal by Fridays.
Raindrop, truck top smoking, no cooking the hot pot. Fucking on your bitch, yeah, that. Looking up, open the park pot.